Welcome, dear listeners, to today's reflection, where we delve into one of the most profound and often overlooked aspects of our existence, time. Have you ever noticed how time seems to slip away as we grow older? When we were children, time felt endless, as if each day stretched out forever. A simple summer afternoon, playing with friends or riding a bike, felt like an eternity. Every moment was fully experienced, and every experience seemed to leave a deep imprint on our memory. We had no sense of hurry. We were truly present in every second. But then something changes. As the years go by, time begins to speed up. The days blur into one another. The months pass in the blink of an eye. And before we know it, another year has gone by. We often find ourselves wondering where all the time has gone. It feels as though we no longer have enough of it to accomplish everything we want. The question that arises is, why does time seem to slip away from us, especially as we grow older? Is it because we're doing too much, or perhaps because we're not fully aware of the precious moments unfolding before us? In Buddhist philosophy, time is not seen as something we possess, but rather something we experience, something that flows through us, much like a river. The Buddha once said, "The trouble is, you think you have time." At first glance, this statement might seem like a warning, something that urges us to fear time's passing. But in reality, this quote is not meant to alarm us. It is an invitation to wake up, to awaken to the fact that time is not ours to control. It is a gift, and like all gifts, it must be cherished, not held on to desperately. Time flows continuously, and we are simply part of its current. We cannot stop the river from moving, nor can we hold on to every drop that passes by. Our attachment to the idea that we can control time, save it, stretch it, or somehow preserve it, leads to a sense of frustration and loss. The more we resist the natural flow of time, the more it seems to slip through our fingers. It is like trying to hold on to water with our bare hands. The tighter we grip, the faster it escapes. But there is a way to slow down time, not in the sense of halting its passage, but in the way we experience it. The Buddhist concept of mindfulness teaches us to be fully present in the moment. This means letting go of distractions, quieting the noise in our minds, and truly experiencing the now. When we are fully immersed in the present moment, time seems to stretch. We begin to savor every second, to appreciate the richness of every experience, no matter how small. Buddhist mindfulness doesn't require us to stop time, nor does it ask us to resist its flow. Instead, it teaches us how to live in harmony with time. It invites us to embrace the flow of life, to be aware of each passing moment, to honor it without attachment. By practicing mindfulness, we can awaken to the fullness of time, not in the sense of controlling it, but in the sense of experiencing it fully. Take a moment to reflect. When was the last time you truly felt present? When was the last time you let go of everything else and focused only on the here and now? For many of us, this moment may seem rare. We live in a world full of distractions, where our minds race from one task to the next, never fully engaging in the present. We are always anticipating the future or dwelling on the past. But the Buddha reminds us that true peace comes from living in the present moment. Time, when experienced mindfully, becomes a source of peace, not anxiety. In the fast-paced world we live in, it's easy to fall into the trap of constantly chasing time, rushing through each day, worrying about the future, and regretting the past. But mindfulness teaches us a different way of being. It teaches us that when we are truly present, time slows down. The fleeting moments of life become rich with meaning. We no longer feel the need to chase after more time. Instead, we learn to live with what we have, embracing each moment as it comes. So how do we slow time down? The first step is to become aware of it. Awareness is the key to mindfulness. When we are truly aware of the present moment, we step outside the rush of time. We see the world with clarity, the sound of a bird singing, the feel of the wind on our face, the warmth of the sun. All these simple, everyday experiences become precious when we are fully present with them. It's not about trying to stop time, but rather about learning how to flow with it. Time is like a river, and we are like the boats that float upon it. Instead of paddling frantically to control the current, we learn to navigate the river with grace, letting the water carry us to where we need to go. This is the essence of mindfulness. As you go about your day, take a moment to pause. Breathe deeply and notice the world around you. Allow yourself to be fully present with whatever you are doing, whether it's having a conversation, eating a meal, or taking a walk. Let go of distractions and allow time to unfold naturally. When you do this, you'll find that time doesn't seem to slip away so quickly. Instead, you'll experience the richness of each moment, and life will feel fuller, more meaningful. The Buddha teaches us that by cultivating mindfulness, we can transform our relationship with time. Rather than seeing time as something to be controlled or feared, we begin to see it as something to be appreciated. Time is no longer a burden, it becomes a gift. And when we live in harmony with time, we unlock its true potential, not as something that slips away from us, but as something we can fully experience and cherish. Remember, time is not something to be feared or held on to. It is a flow, and we are simply a part of it. By embracing mindfulness, we can experience the richness of each moment and live fully without the anxiety of time's passing. Time, in the end, is not an enemy. It is a companion on our journey through life. And when we learn to live with it, rather than against it, we can find peace in every passing second. As we grow older and step into the later seasons of our lives, a powerful shift begins to take place within us. The things that once seemed so urgent, our careers, the chase for material possessions, the endless to-do lists, start to lose their grip on our hearts. We begin to recognize a profound truth. Much of what we once considered important may no longer hold the same weight in the grand scheme of things. This is the essence of impermanence, a central teaching in Buddhism. The Buddha taught us that everything in life is impermanent. Our lives are not static, they are fluid, ever-changing, and transient. This understanding brings with it a shift in perspective. What once felt like a life or death matter might now seem trivial. We come to realize that our attachment to these things, whether they are achievements, possessions, or even status, was never the source of true happiness. In fact, happiness doesn't lie in what we accumulate or achieve, but in how deeply we engage with each moment, with each breath we take. In the Buddhist tradition, we are taught to let go of attachments, not just to material things, but to the very idea that happiness depends on more. The more we let go, the more we open ourselves up to the simple joys of the present. The true essence of life is found in the now, in the people we love, and in the moments that fill our days with meaning and purpose. One of the most insightful practices we can adopt is what I call the deathbed perspective. It's a reflective exercise that asks us to imagine ourselves at the end of our lives. We may be on our deathbed looking back on the journey we've traveled. What do we wish we had spent more time on? What will truly matter when all is said and done? Is it the hours spent in meetings or the things we bought? Or will it be the love we shared with those closest to us? The kindness we offered to strangers? The moments we spent in peace? And the clarity we found in our hearts? This perspective is powerful because it helps us reframe our current priorities. In our busy, fast-paced world, it's so easy to become consumed by the next task, the next goal, or the next acquisition. But when we step back and reflect on the bigger picture, we often find that the things we thought were so urgent were, in fact, insignificant. The meetings we attended, the material possessions we accumulated, the deadlines we stressed over, they won't matter in the end. What will matter, however, is the love we gave and received, the peace we cultivated within ourselves, and the meaningful connections we nurtured with others. These are the treasures that will remain with us long after everything else fades away. This is where Buddhism offers us invaluable wisdom. The Buddha's teachings guide us to live with awareness, mindfulness, and a deep sense of gratitude for each passing moment. We are encouraged to let go of the attachments that weigh us down and to embrace the fleeting nature of life with open hearts. As we do so, we begin to experience true freedom, not the freedom to acquire more, but the freedom to be content with less, the freedom to appreciate the present and to live fully in the now. Buddhism teaches that happiness doesn't lie in the accumulation of wealth, status, or power, but in the ability to embrace the present with an open heart. It's about recognizing that every moment, no matter how ordinary it may seem, is an opportunity for growth, for connection, and for peace. The practice of mindfulness allows us to be present with ourselves and others in a way that brings a deep sense of fulfillment, not because we are seeking something outside of ourselves, but because we are learning to find joy in simply being. The deathbed perspective is not a morbid reflection, but a tool for awakening. It invites us to ask ourselves what is truly important. When we are faced with the impermanence of life, what do we wish we had spent more time on? By engaging in this practice, we begin to align our lives with what matters most. We become more intentional with our time, more mindful of our actions, and more present with those we love. In doing so, we step closer to living a life of true happiness, a happiness that transcends the fleeting joys of materialism and finds its root in love, connection, and peace. As we grow older, this shift in priorities becomes clearer. The Buddhist teachings encourage us to embrace this change, to welcome it with open arms. It's not about regretting the past or wishing we had done things differently. It's about recognizing that in this very moment, we have the power to choose what truly matters. We can choose to focus on what brings us peace, to nurture the relationships that bring us joy, and to let go of the attachments that keep us tethered to a life of striving and wanting. In conclusion, the key to living a life of meaning and fulfillment, especially as we age, is to cultivate a deep awareness of impermanence. We must let go of the attachments that no longer serve us and instead focus on the moments that truly matter, the moments of love, kindness, and peace. This is the Buddhist path to living a life of purpose and contentment. It is a path that leads us to true happiness, not through what we acquire, but through what we let go of and what we cherish most deeply. As we move into the later years of life, we begin to realize just how precious relationships are. These connections with family, friends, and even strangers become the most sacred parts of our journey. If we take a moment to reflect, we may see that it's not the possessions we've gathered or the accolades we've received that hold true meaning, but the people we've encountered and the bonds we've nurtured along the way. The relationships we've built, the moments shared, and the love given and received are the very threads that make up the tapestry of our lives. In Buddhism, we are taught that relationships are an opportunity for personal growth, a chance to practice compassion, and a reminder of the impermanence of all things. Every encounter, whether it's with a loved one, a colleague, or even someone who may have wronged us, is an invitation to act with mindfulness, love, and understanding. In the Buddha's words, hatred does not cease by hatred, but only by love. This simple but profound truth reveals the transformative power of compassion. As we reflect on the relationships that have shaped our lives, we may find ourselves faced with feelings of regret, moments we wish we had communicated more clearly, times we missed the opportunity to say what was in our hearts. But in Buddhism, we are reminded not to dwell on the past or get caught up in these regrets. The past is already gone, and the future is not yet here. What matters most is the present moment, the choices we make, the kindness we extend, and the love we share today. In our relationships, there will always be challenges. People will disappoint us, and we will, at times, disappoint others. But Buddhism teaches us to respond with understanding and compassion, rather than anger or resentment. This doesn't mean we ignore our feelings or let others treat us poorly. It means that we recognize the impermanence of all things, and that even in the face of difficulty, we have the power to choose how we respond. Our words and actions, when guided by love and compassion, have the power to heal and transform not only our own hearts, but the hearts of those around us. When we look back on our lives, what we will remember most are the connections we've made, the moments of love, laughter, and even sorrow shared with others. These relationships are the true treasures of life, and it's never too late to deepen them or create new ones. Whether it's reaching out to someone we've lost touch with, expressing gratitude to a friend, or simply offering a smile to a stranger, every act of kindness is a seed planted in the soil of peace. In Buddhism, we believe that every moment is an opportunity to cultivate mindfulness. This means being fully present with the people around us, whether it's a family member, a colleague, or even someone who has hurt us. When we approach each interaction with love and mindfulness, we begin to see the world through a different lens, a lens that recognizes the interconnectedness of all beings and the potential for healing in every interaction. As we grow older, we may also come to understand that our role in relationships is not just to receive love and care, but to offer it in return. We become the nurturers, the listeners, the supporters. Our experience and wisdom become valuable gifts that we can share with others, especially with younger generations. In doing so, we not only strengthen our own relationships, but also contribute to the well-being of others and the greater good of society. One of the most beautiful teachings of Buddhism is the idea of right speech, choosing words that uplift, heal, and bring peace. In our relationships, our words have the power to build bridges or tear them down. When we speak with kindness, honesty, and respect, we foster trust and understanding. And when we listen with empathy and an open heart, we create the space for others to feel heard and valued. These simple acts of communication, guided by mindfulness, can transform relationships and create a ripple effect of compassion in the world. But let's not forget that relationships also require effort. They require patience, understanding, and sometimes even forgiveness. We must be willing to let go of our own egos and judgments and instead meet others where they are. This is not always easy, but it is through this process that we learn to grow, not only as individuals, but also as compassionate beings who seek to help others heal, grow, and find peace. As we look ahead, we can approach the future with a sense of optimism and hope, knowing that our relationships are the foundation of our lives. They are the sacred grounds where we practice compassion, mindfulness, and love. And while we may not always be able to change the circumstances around us, we have the power to choose how we respond, how we show up for others, and how we create a legacy of love and understanding. So as we continue our journey through life, let us embrace the relationships that come our way. Let us be mindful of the words we speak, the actions we take, and the love we offer. Let us remember that every moment is an opportunity to heal, to connect, and to share the peace and love that we have cultivated within ourselves. These are the true treasures that we will carry with us long after the years have passed. As we approach the later stages of our lives, many of us are faced with the question, now what? After decades of work, routines, and responsibilities, retirement often brings a sense of uncertainty. The structure and purpose we once derived from our careers begins to fade, leaving a void. It's as if the foundations of our identity are crumbling, and we are left to navigate this new phase with a sense of loss. But what if we approached retirement not as an end, but as a beginning? In Buddhism, the concept of purpose transcends external achievements. It's not about how many projects we complete or the accolades we receive, but about cultivating a deep inner peace that transforms the way we interact with the world. The Buddhist teachings remind us that our lives are not defined by the work we do, but by the awareness and presence we bring to every moment. Retirement offers a unique opportunity to reconnect with ourselves, to embrace the inner work that we often neglect during the hustle of our younger years. It's a time to reflect, to look inward, and to explore the quiet wisdom that has been waiting for us to notice it. In fact, this time of life offers us the space to shift our focus from external accomplishments to internal growth. This phase of life invites us to stop chasing after fleeting goals and instead start cultivating the qualities that bring lasting peace and joy: wisdom, compassion, and mindfulness. The Buddha taught that life is not about accumulating possessions or titles, but about cultivating a heart that is filled with love and understanding. As we age, we have the chance to refine these qualities and, in doing so, contribute to the world in a way that aligns with our deepest values. Whether we find meaning in mentoring a young person, sharing our life stories, tending to a garden, or simply sitting in quiet meditation, the opportunities for purposeful engagement are endless. Each action, no matter how simple, can be infused with intention and love. It's not about achieving grand feats, but about being fully present in whatever we do. The beauty of retirement is that it allows us to embrace the simplicity, to be at peace with ourselves, and to radiate that peace into the world. Buddhism teaches that life is a journey of transformation. In our younger years, we may have focused on outward success, on building careers and accumulating material wealth. But as we age, we come to realize that true fulfillment comes from within. This realization doesn't diminish the importance of our past achievements, but it reframes what it means to lead a meaningful life. Our value is not defined by our profession or the money we earn. It's defined by how we show up in the world, how we share our wisdom, and how we cultivate compassion in our hearts. Retirement can be seen as a time to reorient ourselves towards spiritual growth. It's the perfect opportunity to reconnect with the teachings of the Buddha, to practice mindfulness, and to deepen our understanding of the impermanent nature of life. The impermanence of time, the fleeting nature of our physical form, and the inevitability of change become more apparent as we grow older. But rather than fearing these changes, Buddhism encourages us to embrace them with acceptance and gratitude. In the silence that often accompanies the later years of life, there lies a profound potential for self-discovery. Without the distractions of work, we can finally turn inward and ask ourselves the important questions. What do I truly value? What legacy do I want to leave behind? How can I live in a way that aligns with my deepest beliefs? These questions don't require us to take monumental actions or to make grand declarations. Sometimes the most significant acts of purpose are the small, everyday gestures that reflect our inner peace and compassion. A kind word to a stranger, a helping hand to a neighbor, or simply being present for someone in need. These are the ways in which we contribute to the world after retirement. As we age, we also have the chance to pass down the wisdom we've gained over a lifetime. The Buddha spoke of the importance of sharing our knowledge and experiences with others, especially with younger generations. By doing so, we help to preserve the teachings of compassion, mindfulness, and wisdom that have sustained us. Whether through formal teaching or casual conversations, we can impart the lessons we've learned, guiding others on their own journeys of growth. Furthermore, retirement offers us a time to be less concerned with the expectations of others. Throughout our working years, we may have been caught in the web of societal pressures to perform, to achieve, to climb higher. But in retirement, we can finally release the need for validation from external sources. Instead, we focus on the inner satisfaction that comes from living authentically, from being true to our values and principles. Buddhism teaches us that liberation comes when we free ourselves from the constant desire for approval and when we begin to live in alignment with our true nature. The concept of inner work is essential in Buddhism, particularly in the later years of life. We are all familiar with the idea of self-improvement, striving to be better, to do more, to accomplish. But true self-improvement, according to Buddhist teachings, is not about doing more, but about becoming more aware. It's about paying attention to our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions, and understanding how they shape our experience of the world. In retirement, we have the gift of time to practice this awareness, to witness the impermanent nature of our thoughts, and to cultivate a heart that is unburdened by unnecessary attachment. So as we approach the later stages of our lives, we must remember that retirement is not an ending, but a beginning. It's an opportunity to deepen our practice, to explore the inner work that has been waiting for our attention, and to share our wisdom with the world. Every moment is a chance to live with intention, to be present, and to contribute to the world in a meaningful way. It's about living each day with mindfulness, kindness, and gratitude, finding purpose in the simplicity of life. In Buddhism, there is no final destination. Life is a continuous journey. As we retire from the workforce, we are not retiring from life's purpose. Instead, we are stepping into a new chapter, one where we can grow spiritually, offer our wisdom, and experience the deep joy that comes from being present in the moment. The purpose of life, according to Buddhism, is not to accomplish, but to experience and to awaken. And in retirement, we are given the precious opportunity to fully awaken to the beauty of this life, to embrace our inner work, and to share our love with the world.